Hi, this is Samantha with a Wealthy Hairstylist YouTube channel, and today I'm going to go through my consultation for a new client sitting in my chair within the salon getting a color service. And I'm going to go over with you the 5 things that I ask a client when they sit in my chair in the salon. So the first thing I want to know when a client comes in is the health of their scalp. I want to check to see if they have any scalp issues, if they have any health concerns. I check their density of their hair. If they have thin hair, fine hair, I check the texture. Are they coarse or are they fine? And then I also go into assessing their previous color. So I section the hair and I look around the hairline, where they part their natural hair, because you can always see where someone parts if they have a lot of thermal damage or overlapping of color. So I reassess their color and I check for damage, whether they have permanent color, a band of regrowth, do they have gray, do they have semi-permanent color in their hair, and when was the last time that they colored their hair. So these are really key questions that I like to ask the client, so it kind of puts in perspective for me how I can plan to color their hair accordingly. And then I also like to check and make sure, do they even do any box dye on their hair, or do they have henna hair dye? Because all of these will play huge factors if A, I'm going to take them on as a client, and B, how their hair will react to any chemical service whatsoever. The third thing I like to go over with my clients is the maintenance. So normally when I have a new client that sits in my chair, and then if they show me a picture of what they want, and it's completely opposite of what their natural hair color is, then obviously we have to have the talk of maintenance. Are they willing to come in to get touch-ups, every 6 weeks, possibly every 4 weeks? Or are they looking to have a color that is more lived in, that could last them 4 months to 6 months, and I maybe only see them twice a year? And then the last thing I like to ask my client, the 5th topic, is pricing. So within pricing, I like to be super clear regarding all my services. So when I have a new client come into my chair, if they decide to move forward and booked, I do not want any hesitation or any worry as to what I need to do to get to them to the end goal. But I also want the client to be aware of the cost of the service. So I'm very upfront, and I believe you have to be super transparent with your client regarding what the price could be for the outcome they want, and whether it's realistic for them to even get service or to get what they want done within the first round of them sitting in your chair. So to be honest and transparent is huge. And lastly, I always like to ask, how'd you hear about my services? Were they referred from family, from a friend? Did they find me on social media? I always like to take note within my clients' books that I write down for all my clients within the books that I keep that have their formula, the pricing, all details about my clients. So if they are referred by somebody, I like to make a note and then give a kickback or referral to the client that referred them to me in the salon. So I actually want to go through and walk you through how I would do a color consult. So I'm going to show you before and after picture of a client who came into the salon. And granted, this is during quarantine, or when we were quarantined and the salon was open for a small window. So she had a lot of regrowth going on in her hair. So I'm going to zoom in and show you her before and after. As you can see here, she has a ton of regrowth. Natural hair color, pretty dark, like a level 6. Lots of regrowth. Her blonde has gotten pretty warm, and she's pretty dark on the underneath part of her hair. So normally when a client like this would sit in my chair, I say, okay, obviously we have a lot of regrowth. So my biggest question is, do you like having a little bit of regrowth, or do you feel you want that darkness completely gone? Do you want the blonde to be brought up all the way to your root, so you have brightness all over? Or do you feel you still want some dimension in the back of your head, but you rather have more of a pop of brightness around your face? And so as you can see here, this is what I ended up doing on her. So I decided to give her a really nice strong money piece, but I also added some dimension in the mid to back of her head. And I also did a full weave of baby highlights to kind of break up any of the darker blonde that she had going on and to add some more brighter pieces. On top of it, I even gave her 2 rows of extensions. She's wearing a mix of 22 and 18-inch hand-tied extensions there. But she normally will go 8 to 10 weeks, sometimes even longer, for her foils. So I know this client wants something that is low maintenance and can grow out really nice. So for her, I make sure I do the strong money piece in the front and then keep a soft dimension in the back. So within doing the full weave, I actually did a little bit of a root melt when we were at the bowl for toning, and then a second root toner mid to ends, and then I added the brightness from tipping out from the full weave. But yeah, so these are kind of my biggest questions. Oops, sorry. My biggest questions I like to go over with a client when they sit in my chair is obviously maintenance, the cost, and then their end goals. So for her, we ended up doing a lived-in blonde color, and then we added 2 rows of extensions. So pretty cool. The blonde is so gorgeous. Looks so great on her. And it grows out nice. So if, we get locked down again, she could go another 4 months without seeing me and it won't be that bad. But those are the biggest questions I like to go over when a new client sits in my chair. Is so 1, health of the scalp. 2, I check previous color and damage. 3, I go over maintenance cost, or maintenance, upkeep I should say. 4 is cost, and then 5 is I like to find out how they heard about me. So I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial about how I go over a color consultation. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.